One evening, David got up from his bed and walked around on the roof of the palace. From the roof, he saw a woman bathing. The woman was very beautiful. David sent somebody to find out who she was. The man came back, and he said, "She is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, and the wife of Uriah the Hittite." David sent for her. She came to him, and he slept with her. She was purifying herself from her monthly uncleanliness. Then she went back home. The woman conceived, sent word to David, saying, "I am pregnant." When David received word that Bathsheba was pregnant, he told Joab, "Send me Uriah the Hittite." Joab sent him to David, and when Uriah came, David asked him how Joab was, how the soldiers were, and how the war was going. Then David said to Uriah, "Go down to your house and wash your feet." So Uriah left the palace. But Uriah slept at the entrance to the palace and did not go down to his house. David found out, and he asked Uriah, "Why didn't you go home?" Uriah told David, "The ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents, and my commander Joab and my lord's men are camped in the open country. How can I go to my house to eat and drink and make love to my wife? As surely as you live, I will not do such a thing." So David asked Uriah to stay one more day, and tomorrow that he will send him back. At David's invitation, he drank and ate with him, and David made him drunk. But in the evening Uriah went out to sleep on his mat among his master's servants. He did not go home. In the morning David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it with Uriah. In it he wrote, "Put Uriah out in the front where the fighting is fiercest, then withdraw from him, so he will be struck down and die." When the plan was carried out by Joab, Uriah the Hittite was dead. Joab sent David a full account of the battle. He instructed the messenger, "When you have finished giving the king this account of the battle, the king's anger may flare up. If he asks you many questions, you answer them. Then say to him, 'Moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead.'" The messenger set out, and when he arrived, he told David everything Joab had sent him to say. The messenger said to David, "The men overpowered us and came out against us in the open, but we drove them back to the entrance of the city gate. Moreover, your servant Uriah the Hittite is dead." David told the messenger, "Say this to Joab. Don't let this upset you. The sword devours one as well as another. Press the attack against the city and destroy it. Say this to encourage Joab." Meanwhile, Bathsheba mourned for Uriah. After the mourning, David had brought her to his house, and she became his wife, and bore him a son. But the thing David had done displeased the Lord. The Lord sent Nathan to David, and Nathan told David a story where there were two men in a certain town, one rich and one poor. The rich man had a very large number of sheep and cattle, but the poor man had nothing except one little lamb. The poor man treated the lamb like it was his daughter. Now, a traveler came to the rich man, but the rich man refrained from taking one of his own sheep or cattle to prepare a meal for the traveler who had come to him. Instead, he took the little lamb that belonged to the poor man and prepared it for the one who had come to him. Burned with anger. "As surely as the Lord lives," he said, "the man who did this must die. He must pay for that lamb 4 times over, because he did such a thing and had no pity." Nathan said to David, "You are that man. This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I anointed you king over Israel, and I delivered you from the hand of Saul. I gave you your master's house to you, and your master's wives into your arm. I gave you all of Israel and Judah, and if all of this had been too little, I would have given you even more. Why did you despise the word of the Lord by doing what is evil in his eyes? You struck down Uriah the Hittite with a sword and took his wife to be your own. Now therefore the sword will never depart from your house, because you despised me and took the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your own." The Lord also said, "Out of your own household I am going to bring calamity on you. Before your eyes I will take your wives and give them to one who is close to you, and he will sleep with your wives in broad daylight. You did in secret, but I will do this thing in the broad daylight before all Israel." David said to Nathan, "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan replied, "The Lord has taken away your sin. You are not going to die. But because by doing this you have shown utter contempt for the Lord, the son born to you will die." After Nathan had gone home, the Lord struck the child that Uriah's wife had borne to David, and he became ill.